So I'm just going to introduce your valedictorian here, Benjamin Logsdon.
Mr. McMinn would never admit this, but he's especially excited to see me leave Nexus because he's embarrassed that one of his students is better than he is at Nexus chair hockey. Good evening, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Tonight, I'd like to talk about a phrase that I'm sure you're all familiar with. It seems like it's most popular among the young folks in America. The phrase is, "You only live once," although most call it by its abbreviation, YOLO. Some of you, perhaps, have used this phrase only to hear the reprimanding voice of a parent or teacher telling you not to do certain things or not to make certain choices. But YOLO is, in fact, completely true. We do only live once, and ignoring that fact is certainly not going to make it any easier to live that one life to the fullest. In fact, I would argue that recognizing truths such as YOLO and facing it head-on drives change in the world. Take the Founding Fathers when they recognized that it would be best for the colonies to break away from Great Britain. They founded a wonderful new country that has served as a beacon of hope for the oppressed everywhere. Take those such as Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King Jr., who recognized the evils of slavery and prejudice and thus fought to end these evils. Take the inventors of our wonderful school Nexus, who realized that many students would benefit from a school better designed for them, and who went on to create a wonderful school that has helped many students fulfill their full potential. In all these cases, and in many more, someone recognized something that was true, and incredible change happened as a result. And I don't think that recognizing the truth of YOLO is any different than recognizing those other truths. If it's true, then we should believe that fact and act accordingly. After all, if we do only live once, shouldn't we think carefully about how we can use that one life to the fullest? If we only live once, shouldn't we think carefully about how we can do the most good to others in the short time that we have here on Earth? If we only live once, shouldn't we think about what we want to be known for after we're gone? It seems like many of us admire the heroes of the past for traits that we ourselves do not try to attain. We admire the courage of the Founding Fathers to revolt against Great Britain, perhaps the most powerful nation in the world at the time, and to create a radical new government based on revolutionary ideas. We admire the persistence of Lincoln and Martin Luther King Jr. when they chose to fight and suffer for justice rather than to live life with the status quo. And we admire the innovation of those who created Nexus, who were willing to rethink every aspect of education in order to improve the lives of many students. I've got to ask myself, do I really live my life like those values are important? Or do I praise them in others but never strive to attain them myself? If we only live once, we should do our best to work toward possessing these values that we admire so much. There's no particular lifestyle or career choice that I'm suggesting. I'm simply suggesting that each of us think carefully about the kind of life that he or she wants to live. I'm definitely not suggesting never to have fun and enjoy yourselves. Imagine a world where everyone spent all their time trying to become more courageous, selfless, and innovative in order to serve others better. If no one ever sat back and simply enjoyed life, there would be no point. But don't be so focused on enjoying life now that you don't live a life that you'll enjoy looking back on later. All I'm saying is this. You only have one shot at life, so decide what you want to achieve and go for it. Don't get distracted. Stay focused and press on toward the finish line. As a friend of mine says, don't work too hard, don't work too little, and never forget to have fun. Because remember, you only live once. Thank you.